get no sleep. Digging deep, sometimes you get no sleep. No sleep to dig deep, deep. Okay, the bass. So this is J Essence, and yes, I'm coming to you guys live and bright and cheery. And for those who watched, I did post a video earlier. I'm so thirsty. Like, why do I start these videos and get hungry? Of us today. So let me just break down. Today is the 17th, yesterday, 16th, whatever. It was Sunday, April 16th. This is a significant day because we are officially soft opening our doors at the Inzozi Center. And so what we did today was have a parent orientation to talk to the community about what they wanted and their needs to see how we can help them. And then also, and I have more pictures. You need to go. Let me put this down. Just follow us at the Inzozi Center. Um, there we go. And look at our needs. Oh, we had our teacher training on Saturday, our activity coordinator training. And so one of the things we really worked with, and shout outs to KCK, which is a consulting group that really focused on education out here in Rwanda. They came out and did a half day hands on training that was really powerful and needed because our teachers are really learning how to use student centered programming. And that is one of the academic goals that we have behind our forefront of what we do. We will definitely embed education to everything we do without hitting it over kids' heads. And so we have our STEM program, we have even our dance where we're introducing our kids to things. And then our goal is to also introduce books. Like if we have a person come in, I need to reach out to Lauren to do a mock ballet class. Well, then they're going to read Misty Copeland's book as well. And so we're trying to just bridge all of these things so we can empower our kids to dream big, empower our kids to Inzozi, which Inzozi means to dream. So today was the day that we went and talked, and I'm going to see if I can probably pull up some stuff so you guys can see pictures. Like, why talk about it when you can see it? There's so much going on. And honestly, shout outs to one of the brothers out here who just tagged along to see what we're doing. And he's like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I am curious and blessed to be this vessel. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for allowing me to be here. But in the same aspect, in my Virgo stance, in my stance of love, in my stance of belief, know that all of these things are possible with money and fundraising. So I'm trying to come out and be more proactive on how we can ensure that this happens. And so I'm going to show you real quick. Let me get back here with the Inzozi Center. Thank you, Auntie. I'm about to show you. Let me show you some pictures because this is what the amazing piece happened today. There's a couple of pictures I need to show. There's a couple of announcements I need to make and a couple of reasons why I have to say thank you for letting me be this vessel. And then God lets me march on. So today was the parent day. Where are we? How do I do this? Share screen. Parent day. And so we just had the parents come out. And we also really set up the Inzozi Center and can't be all in my business. So this was like the first picture, and shout outs to Valdemir who really knew to take pictures because I'm not good at taking pictures. So you can see like all the people on the outside. Well, let me get bigger. Yeah, all the people on the outside like listening, but we're not committing. And then we had the people on the inside here. And the parents came out and they got to ask their questions. They were grateful. They were like, will this cost money? Are you going to charge us later? And I said, no, the goal for me at all times is to allow free programming. But I said the piece that's important is that we want work in payment. And so, like when we do our movie nights, we just don't say, hey, all the kids in the community come out and watch a movie. We're kind of saying, hey, all the kids who have at least been to the center twice this week, come and see the movie. So what we're doing is trying to encourage work in regards for reward. And so they 100% okay with that. And like I said, these are things that we're building. And so the baby said, yeah, I was saying I love my life in Rwanda. I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but we were talking. So this is in the beginning. Let me see if I can go a little bit more. So we had so many more parents come in. That was it. And then what ended up happening, so I don't have to talk to you guys forever, is that stop sharing. We had 100 kids sign up today for registration just to be a part of the center. I know we had 100 because I printed out 100 applications. I actually printed out like maybe 125, and we ran out. So we have to go and print out more and get those kids registered because those parents were like, we want to come, we want to do this. And so that is what's happening now. So there's so much. So the blessings is like it's expanded. I don't know if I can show you if you go back and look at the other video. We had one compound, and I don't know how to explain this. So the compound was like a house. We had the storefront, and we had like the back area. We now had to go back to the landlord and ask for the second compound. So now we have a much bigger space. And the reason why this is because when we did the last video, and I'm going to give you another shout out in a second. Well, I love you guys so much. I should write it down. But once we did the video and we promoted it, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was really nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is not viral. We have what, 230 views. I'm scared because I feel like I lost my algorithm because I'm working. So, J Essence used to be the notification you get all the time. You're not getting it. YouTube has really changed up their algorithm, and I have come to the back burner. And so there's so much I need to do. Like, okay, I need to post like 3 times a week. I need to do this. I need to get my engagement up. I need to get my like and subscribe up. I need to do all these things so I can just be back hot in the streets because I decided to focus on doing the work. I'm no longer the girl you like to click on, and all this other stuff. And so there's a lot because I don't want to chase YouTube likes because of popularity, but now I have like a community that is depending on me getting the word out. So I got to get the word out. So this is where the miracle comes in, right? So I have like only like 300 views on the Inzozi Center, and that's opening because, of course, most people want to hear about the gossip of Rwanda. They want to hear about the expat life. They want to hear all the things that benefit them and not necessarily about the work that it takes to do this or these projects. If I turn around and posted something, and I hate saying that, I know how to go viral. I know how to give you guys a clickbait thing and get mad in America and get fussy and do all that stuff. I know how to go viral. But right now, my life is about preparing and working and the business. Like when we talk consulting, my life is about how to sustain your life here. It's the boring stuff. It's the stuff that doesn't get the big streams, but it's the stuff that changes your life. It's the stuff that matters. So doing this, we received, and this is where the blessing is. You guys who are watching are change makers. It's not about the number of views, it's about who is watching. And I am gracious for that because you're the change makers. And what happened is with 300 views, we secured a grant for 1,000 books. We are securing a grant to build an interactive play area. We secured a whole nother shipment of Black baby books. So even if our books are in the library, they look like our kids. The work is that, and I shout out Paint the Globe because he looked at me and he was like, light. He's like, isn't it a good position in your life when your light can attract more light? And I wanted to cry because that is major work for me because I can go in and I can strategic and be all this other stuff. And even in my job and all those things in the past jobs I've had, it's always been about the work. It's always been about do this, and get this done. And now I'm tiptoeing over into a life where my work is light. And that is different. And the light workers must hold on to each other. But it's different to turn around and be able to put all your effort and hustle into work that brings light. And let me tell you how it brings light. You see it in the kids' eyes. You see it in the eyes of the people around you. Like I hugged everybody, but the little girl who came up to me and said, "Hello, my name is Rashima. I thank you. Your plan is a good plan." That's the work that matters. So that's why I'm going to have to get on here. I'm going to keep on clicking and doing everything on YouTube because, yes, your girl is begging. Your girl is begging. Give me money. Give me money. Your girl is begging. And the reason why is because it is not about me, it is way above me. And I want to, one, to be able to ensure I can go as far as your hope and prayer takes this space. I want to be able to go as far. I too, let me go ahead and give you some real stuff. I 100% know that majority, and when I say majority, I'm going 95% of the people who's watching me is blackity black to the black to the black, y'all, which means that most of my donors, 95% is blackity black to the black, y'all. My thing about black giving, my thing about us giving, we are a giving people. We understand struggle. We understand the need for help. So we give. The thing about our giving is that when we give, it is sincere. It is from the heart. And most times, it's from a place of sacrifice that we say that we are going to give this money in spite of this or in because of, so our money, our dollar is tied to an emotion and a purpose. And I understand if it's $10, if it's $6, if it's $500, whatever it is, when it's given to us, it's given with a prayer and it's given with a purpose. And it's also given with the idea of, I believe in what you say. And there's this trust of do right with my heart. That is the driving point behind what I do with the Inzozi Center, that every single dollar means something. Every single moment means something. So I don't come here in expectation of this is what you need to do or bail us out or fix this. It is let us go forth with this. Let us be able to do these things. The fact that, the kids are asking now, can we have a football league? Can we organize and do this in a certain way? Will our kids get certificates? Will they be celebrated? Are you going to be open during school time? No, we're not open during school time. We support education. We support the belief and we support community. So all of these things. And so when you guys give, and I probably need it, let me go ahead and click on this giving link too. Like, let me pull it all together. When you guys give, mm-mm, 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 you have no idea how sincere I am about I must do right by the whatever you give me. And so with that too, just so you know, we are building, not building, we have already built a website. We are waiting. Let me not lie to you. I'm waiting on my next paycheck before I go live with the website. Let me stop lying. I gotta wait. My paycheck is here. The button is here. And I'm just like, I can't go live yet. I still gotta pay this bill over here. I still got to pay the internet bill. I still got to pay this. So I can't go live with the website yet because everything's straight. This is the biggest link I'm not happy with. Please, God, that is not cute. It is like a smaller link, but because I'm coming in off of my, let me see if I can click the small link. Oh my gosh. There's a smaller link. I'm going to post it in after this. And I can show you. Let me see this real quick. But like just being real, it takes, and then the other piece of it, why is that I am the Inzozi Foundation is now a 501c3 in America, and there it is. is a 501c3 in America, and it's going through the IRS process right now. Of It's pending, just so we can get our status. So the next piece and phase of what we do is tax deductible. I'm trying to take care of you guys. But the library project became a need before the 501c3 because we really do have a June 1st hard deadline on this because we were expecting 1,000 books. So that's what I was saying. When you guys watch the video and everything else like that, the right people are watching it, and we have 1,000 books coming by June 1st, and we had to expand significantly, and we now have a 3-bedroom house that will be dedicated to being the Dream Big Library. So we are working to gut it. We've already gutted it. We've already cemented it to reinforce the walls. We're going to have to get we're going to have to repair on the ceiling because we don't have enough natural light that we really should have in order to support reading. And we don't want it ever to be dim in that area. We want the light to be bright. And then we're going to have to repaint it, floor it properly, and then furniture. And then we have the books. So we have bookshelves and all of those things that must be built. And so that is the Dream Big Library project that we're asking for support with now because the need was much bigger. It was the need. I mean, let's be honest. How am I supposed to get 1,000 books and put them in a corner? And we build literacy, like we are built on the idea of bilingual literacy. Like that's another big push I have to do. I have to start reaching out to Rwandan bookstores and Rwandan authors and seeing if they can come out and work with our kids and talk with our kids. And that's another thing. We can get our books donated. I'm not able to get Kia Rwandan based books donated. That's their business. So we usually have to pay for those in full price, which is not a problem. We just need that funding to do that. Like I have no problem supporting what needs to be supported. Money is the key. More money. More. Okay, I'm just playing, but you know what I'm saying. And let me go back to this one. This one is where it's better. So this is where we are. So I just published this, and I actually have, and that's my prayer. I need to go talk to send this message out now. I have a few librarians that heard about the project, and they were like, "We want to help," and this is really pushing my librarian force. Like, this is how you help us. Let's create what we have and multiply it over here in Gashur. Um, um, Okay, so this is going to be a hard question for me to answer because you have to understand I'm technical. Is it true that Rwandan history is not taught in schools, only American history or Belgian history? Um, I'm coming to you with limited knowledge, and because why? When I did work in a school setting, I worked in a private school setting. And private schools create their own curriculum. So if you're a private school and you are also working off of a Common Core curriculum or UK curriculum, an IB curriculum, or French curriculum, you're working on a curriculum that's not based in your national history. That part can be true. I can tell you. From my limited knowledge, I have not in a private school setting, not saying it doesn't exist because my private school setting is limited, but I never saw a course. Um, One of the things that I was trying to do when I was there was to make sure it was integrated within. And I also know like there are some schools that have cultural day, which would be your Rwandan history, that do have. Now, also, it is not true that, like, let me say this part. I do know, like, I've always seen dance, traditional dance classes. I've always seen it more so in the extracurricular portions of it, but not a sit down get. I don't know the public school curriculum and I don't know the Rwandan national curriculum. So I cannot say that's 100% true. And I personally really don't think so. That's a personal belief. Like I said, I would have to be able to do that research. Rwandans are, because you have to understand there's more history than just what we know with the genocide against the Tutsi. So I don't want to say that that's a fact. I'm not comfortable saying that's a fact, but I also haven't been able to fact check it to make sure what is right or not. Um, okay. And then it says, I would love to send you Black American books for, yeah, and I would love to be able to accept them and thank you, which is why we need the Dream Big Library Project because we are getting books, we are getting books, we are getting books, we are getting books. So we want to make sure we're in a position to really, really display them, and also make sure that we are in the right positions to gather so much more and to have the authors like I was gonna say like our reading rainbow if you remember like just guest author anybody coming in town just being different and being able to talk to the kids and we have our interpreters there. It means something, it means so much, so that's why it's the Dream Big Library where we're going to be able to dream big and do so much more. Thank you to my auntie who I know is still watching this and stay. I know, let me tell you this. I know my auntie has already shared the link and she is telling everybody else to get on. So I appreciate that. And then Kenya, Raquel, thank you so much for also following in. So that's where we are. So but I can tell you this: if you want to get back to um, the goals of the center, I am looking to create a curriculum course for our kiddos here that really focuses in. And another story, my mom, thank you for shouting me out. But being able to do that in our expanded space. So we don't have to rely on schools. We can rely on programs that know the power of culture and all those things. So all these things are building. So my mom told me a story today. Let me stop sharing screen. She told me a story today and she's like, I just want you to know that what you're doing is impacting. And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? Because like my mom is not at the center and not in a negative way. My mom is happily retired. She comes to the center when she wanna come. And that's beautiful. So she ain't gonna sit there for no parent meeting. Like she got a life. Um, and she's like, no, it's just the little things that you do. And the more that you keep doing those little things get picked up. So I was like, okay, what you talking about? So this past Christmas, we did like this Christmas party for our staff. I've never told the story, and it's hilarious. It's one of my happy moments. We did a Christmas party. We had all of our staff bring their kids up, and we did like this big, yeah, Christmas Day. We did this big and it wasn't Christmas because it wasn't on Christmas Day. It was like 2 days before, so it was kind of like a holiday fest. And I think I still have. Did I have their posters? Like I had them color posters for me. Like they did all these things, right? And I was really big on how do we bridge culture into this? How do we not just make this about Santa Claus, but how can we bridge culture? So Uganda is one of their folk tales, and Uganda is like this big, big, he's fat Rwandan, which is also to me an oxymoron. And if you've seen Rwandans, like you really don't see fat Rwandans, like, but he's like this big, big, like he's giant. He's basically like a Paul Bunyan. Um, I'm gonna talk to you in a second, Kenya. He's like this Paul Bunyan type, and then he's known like he ate 500 goats, and he does like this, and then he got so mad or something like he threw it in. So the mountains are created from Uganda. Like he was plowing, and that's how big he was. He's plowing, and he plowed up, and so all the mountains came from Uganda, and he did this and and then he like helped to save the community. Like Nagunda is the man. Like so I was like, okay, how can we take this and run with it? So we I had this game. So we had so can I tell y'all the funny story first? So we fed the babies. We fed the babies. And boy, my mama was cooking. Everybody was in there cooking. And we were like, yes, you guys come, da 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 da. And this little boy looked at me and I said, we have a surprise outside. I said, we all need to get up from the table and we need to go to our surprise outside. And he looked and he said, I am full of meat. And I just looked at him back like, I'm sorry. Like, I am full of meat. So I said, but we got candy outside. And he said, I'll be okay. Oh, that was the cutest. Okay. So what happened is I did like, I don't say Easter egg, but I basically took all this candy. We bought all this candy and we threw it all in the yard, just threw it all over the yard, right? So when the kids get out there, they're like, oh my God, what is this? And I said, Uganda has left. Uganda went hunting and he left his backyard and we have all these goodies. So we need to clean up Uganda's yard. And they were like, yeah, we're about to clean up Uganda's yard. And I was like, but we only have 3 minutes. And so we gave them all these sacks. And I was like, can we clean up Uganda's yard? And they were like, yeah. So bam, we went running. Baby, them kids was running. It was like, so of course, it was like the candy run. So they came back and then we went back and then we counted math. Come on, come on. I'm going to do that. And then I made them do sorting, like lessons. So we did all this. So we then had, instead of a Santa Claus, we had our worker Eves dressed up and he was Uganda. And so he came in like, ho, 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 who cleaned up my backyard? And so he was like, ah. And so then he actually gave all the kids a gift, right? We had fun. It was so much fun. Well, so my mom, this is how the story started. My mom was like, well, you won't believe what's going on. And I was like, what happened? So one of our workers' youngest daughter, I guess was on the phone because she was talking to her dad and everything. And she saw Eves in the background. And she was like, Daddy, move. I need to talk to Uganda. And Eves was like, and she was like, I need to talk to Uganda. And so, like, they passed the phone, and he was like, hey, and she was like, when am I gonna see you again? Da da da. And then she was like, how are the cows? Like, she was having this conversation with Gunda. So he was like, I only come around during Christmas, but I'll make sure I see you this Christmas. She was like, thank you. And da, da, like, it was really, really cute. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, when she was telling me a story, like, she's right. It's not about the immediate change. It's just those moments and just creating those moments in those spaces like that to be able to do that. So knowing now, like these small little things that we've done that is purposeful, like how do we purposely, because number one, we don't have no little girl calling for Santa Claus. We got a little girl calling for Uganda. Okay. But how do we create those spaces? And that's what we're doing with the Inzozi Center. We're now creating these spaces in these places. So how we do it. Kenya, much love, sis. Appreciate all the knowledge you share. We're doing our research on Africa, hoping to move. And it will happen, baby. And it will happen. Move by 2024. It will happen. Shout outs to you. Much love. Anything else, hit me up. And I am going to do some consulting. I promise you. I am probably going to do a Zoom call. I probably should wait till I go to America. But I should do a Zoom call so I can really talk to some people at least 3 times before the end of summer. So people who have those questions, we can just knock that out. So I'm coming back with the next big thing, which is the Dream Big Center, which also is the website. So for people who want to be a continued blessing, knowing that our money adds up and matters, we can go ahead and create our annual budget from that and all of those things. So you can become a regular donor and going through all of the proper channels because it's Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. So it's the same thing. Like if you're giving me your finances, then of course we are going to be transparent with them as well, which is why we're 501c3 and being able to give you back your tax deductions on that or anything else and track that. Have your employer match. Make them give to the Black Dream. They ain't got to know. And they can know. Make them do right. Be like, we appreciate this, but this is what we're doing. This is how we do it. And so we're running through all those right channels. So shout out to the board members who are 127,000% behind everything we do. Shout out to SWAT. And you saw her in the last video. She's now board member. Her family, they came out and helped out. And we worked. Like that's what we do. We work. And I thank God for giving me the brains. Let me keep them. I need to drink more juices. Come on, y'all. Help me with that. Because this is a funny story, and it's not. I'll give you another funny story. Thank you. Your girl getting old. I'm not going to give you the funny story. just pray on the brain. Like I probably need to just do a big juice fast and just let these brain cycle, like my cells hit these cells, and we be all cellular together. Um, Let me tell Matthew, thank you so much. Um, yeah. So the thing is, this is not about. Let me say this the right way. Thank you. Stop. Thank you. Thank you for this. That means a lot. Glad to see you having an impact on the motherland. And what I wanted to edit to say, glad to see that we are having an impact on the motherland, because I don't do this. This is not a me. The only thing is that for me, and I would claim, is that God gave me the dream, vision, power, and the mouth. But it is we that are making the impact. It is we. It is we. It is we. It is we. So thank you, and thank you to all the people that are believing making this we. This is the moment when I'm going to say any questions, anything you want to say, please, please, please post it now. Um, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and go crazy. I have not done this in so long, but if there's anybody who wants to join the live stream, you can. I'm putting it in there now. So join the live stream. And then also with the Inzozi Center, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. I do believe we're on Twitter. But follow us and follow the journey. Once again, transparency. Everything matters. I don't even know what this is. What's a chemtrail? Hey sis, happy to see you live. I'm here. Are there any chemtrails? Girl, you gonna make me Google search. It's a chemtrail. A chemtrail make me feel like you trying out perms. What is a chemtrail? Like trying out? Girl, I don't know if this is the right thing, but you just made me read some biology, so I'm gonna just sit back on the other side and be like, I don't know what that is. Oh, I have not seen a plane spray over me. That's all I could say. I don't know about the whole government. I don't know nothing. I haven't seen a plane spray over me. That's all I could say. So, okay. My parents went to HBCUs. Bam. Do we need to partner with their school of education to develop unique materials for Rwanda? Is the type help needed or welcome? Let me say this. I would say, I see, because you're talking to somebody who's strategic. Number one, yes. And let me say this. I think that the conversations are warranted and needed. So if somebody knows who to talk to, who for whatever, the answer is and will always be yes. Um, do we need a partnership with their school of education to develop unique materials for Rwanda? That part, um, is it like let's come to the table and have questions, because I can tell you this, and this is where I'm struggling, and this is where, see, this is why I should not be on YouTube. I should have been spending this past hour. I have to write poetry. Like I have to write 10 poems to 12 poems. Thank God for ChatGPT. I'm going to tell you about that later. But I need to write like 10 to 12 poems and then get them translated to Kiarandan in less than 48 hours, because our drama department, like we have drama. And what happened is when I went to Google search, like, hey, because they were like, we're going to do poetry. And I was like, hey, let's Google search. We couldn't find poems in Kiarandan that also was like third grade appropriate. So it was like, oh my God, I have to create this. And then also with the goal of us being a bilingual program, but we're not a school. So we do have homework hour. We do have tracing. Like I lost that paper. Like, so our kids, I have the papers where the kids trace Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. So then I had to hand make the pages for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in Kiarandan. And so what it does for me, it takes up a lot of time. And that time I'm also supposed to be using doing other projects and stuff. So in that case, when you talk about where can we have those conversations, the conversations are welcome because there is a need. Um, And how do we work it? I would even say it's not just the school of education. I would also say, especially in this world, and I don't know what that looks like. This school of graphic arts, like the people who make worksheets, the people who make books, like creating these type of things. So we can, like the story of Uganda. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can share my screen. But the story of Uganda, I just happened to find it, and thank God for this person on YouTube. But once again, don't know if there's enough money to support what people are doing and making sure that these are in need. So let me come back and present. Um, so like the story of Uganda, which you know, um, it was first somebody who mentioned it to me because I asked them what would they name a restaurant, and they were like, "Oh, I name it Uganda." I love it. I love the idea. And so then came in and like I didn't find the story of Uganda in a book. Somebody and look at this. Thank you, God. So the Kia Rondon one is 53K views. Praise you to Imanzi Creations. I probably need to reach out to them. And then they also did it in English. And I was like, thank you. But look at that. There's 366 views. So this helped me know um, the story of Uganda because I didn't know it. And I would never have known it if it wasn't Kia Rondon. So these type of projects are like, yes. But then I think if I click the Imanzi Creation, they have 10 videos. We need more. We absolutely need more. And I don't know if there's a financing. I don't know what it is. And I probably need to reach out to Imanzi and see if they can come out and do something with the Inzozi Center. Um, I watched, I don't want to say her name wrong. Like this one was so good too. I liked that story. Um, yeah, so we have like Ngunda, but we need more stories. I don't even know this one. Oh, that looks so cute. It's a different animator. Look, if you look at the animation here and then you look at the animation here. Oh, this one wasn't moving animation. This one is. So shout outs to that. Like, so it's like coming together and creating those spaces. And also because Kia Rwandan is not a popular, it's not Swahili, it's literally here in Rwanda. Rwanda's a small country. So honoring those words and stories, and it is a hard language, and then there's like so many different words for it, so in building it, so like there's so many spaces where those conversations could be happening. And I think that's one of the things that if you want to ask me, I'm wanting to bridge. So yeah, let's talk to the Department of Education for me. Let's do this. Let's figure out what we can do. Let's figure out the funding behind it. Let's figure out how to make it happen. Let's figure out, do we need to go digital and we print out here? There's publishers out here I know of. Like, how do we create a space that honors the culture of where we are now? And then, especially as an HBCU, if there's something you want to replicate, let's create a model. And then you go to Tanzania, do it in Swahili. You do it, you can go to Nigeria, do it in Europe. You could, like, how do we create these spaces where we can bridge? And then I think you're the one, yeah, you asked the question about what does the curriculum look like? Is it this? Well, let's stop. Let's not get mad about if it's taught in schools or not. Let's create the space so it can be. Let's create the books. Let's do that. And if it's not in schools, we're putting it in the learning centers. But key thing is our kiddos, not even that. How about we create our own 10-week, or let's go more, let's go 10, let's go like 14, 15-week program that our kids graduate from. And then we have a cultural celebration from, and we celebrate them ourselves like that. Because one of the bridging things that needs to happen, now you got me talking about the Inzozi Center. This is when I get hyped up. And I told our people, look, the reason why we're bilingual is because we need to focus on literacy, even in the native language. Like, there's been times I know of where, like, we went to go buy land and the person did not know what was going on because they could not read the land documents. They, were really dependent on word of mouth. And we hope to be a center we want to open up where at least adults can come in and have a literacy space. We have to have a teacher for that. And not only just learning literacy, but say, I can't read this, let's read it. And it'll be in Kinyarwanda. It be in Kinyarwanda. There's many times I've passed, true story, my fault. True story, my fault. I called myself being whatever and printed out a calendar. It was in Rwanda. My staff calendar is in Rwanda. I purposely Googled the word so I can write down when everybody was off. Posted this big on the wall, all 12 months, and color coordinated people's names. Such a Virgo. Such a Virgo. Color coordinated everybody's names. This is in Rwanda. I took a whole day off to write all these things down. I'm sitting there doing one of these late night sessions. I'm going into the kitchen to go get me some water. And I look at the calendar and I'm like, yo, this is somebody's day off. But I just saw one. Like, dude, why did you not? So I pick up the next morning, like, hey, why are you not off? Like, you mad? What's going on? Like, what he say? I didn't know I was off. I'm like, dude, there's a whole calendar here. And he looked at me like, I can't read that. And I was just like, oh my God. So we went back, like that was a whole another day, like training on this is your color. You are blue. When you see this blue and you see this number on the date, another thing, we have to count off the dates. Like that was a whole another thing. Like, and let me stop before people get mad. This is not Rwanda as a whole. This is when you get down into like working in, like we're in a village, we're in the deep communities. So these are things because you don't have a calendar all the time. You don't, do that. You don't use a smartphone in that way. You use a smartphone in different ways. So if you're not exposed to something, you don't have to use it. And so those are, those little things. So when we talk about literacy, we talk about all that stuff. We're building literacy in the local language. And then the other piece, because we're in Gashura, Gashura is also in Bulgaria. Bulgaria is building. They're building an airport. No matter what, there's going to be more money, more resources because of this airport. And it's going to trickle out to the community. And I'm not talking about just airplanes. I'm talking about maybe gas stations, groceries, just the need to support these things. It trickles out. It always trickles out. And how dare us have an entire community that should benefit from a trickling out, but they can't because they're not going to be able to catch the language barrier because once you go and the national language in Rwanda is English. So let's at least have our people competent in English and not just I learned English. It's the same thing with Spanish. Like when you're in class and you learn como se dice, and then nobody who speaks Spanish comes to somebody like como se dice. They'll be like como se dice. Like you have to learn conversational English. You have to learn it in that space. That's one reason why I know the kids, like every time I come up there, they look and they look at me and they'll be like, good morning. And I always say, good morning to you. And those different things. And I make sure that I'm slowly going to bridge them into, I'm doing fine. Because if you ask, how am I doing? They will say, I am fine. Then if you respond back in a natural conversation, oh, I am fine. They're good. Because you put in words that you haven't known. So that's conversational English because we are quick to throw in like these words and stuff. So that's why you have to get people used to these spaces and used to spaces to say, I don't understand. Like, can you say that again? Let's talk about it. Even when my teacher training, I said, you just said a word. Can you describe to me what that word means? Can you show me? And then that's when we recognize, oh, okay, so these are where our gaps are. This is what we're trying to do. All right, let's go. Sorry. I can talk about education all day, y'all. Zora Neale Hurston went through the South collecting folklore stories. Somebody must have done that in Rwanda. Your platform is the space, an online seminar in the near future. Boy, you just gave me like 16 ideas, but thank you. Yeah, let me stop and say this now. If that's a goal, if that's the place, go ahead, God. Like, let it happen. Let me say this. That gold cake money. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I would love for that goal not to be me. I would love for that goal to be my kiddos. oh my God, if I could, oh my God, if I could just get like a tour trip or whatever and have our kids go through different places, Muzanzi, whatever, and talk to people and get folklore stories or just get different stories. And they came back and created a book from that. Oh my God, I would love that. I would love being able to feel. Now, let me stop. I'm dreaming big, but it's the Dream Big Library. We will like we got a lot of work to do before we're there, but I want us to do the work so we could be there. So that one's a beautiful thing. So give us the opportunity to make it happen. Give me the Zora Neale Hurston Foundation. I'll be like, look, she did this. Put some money overseas. Let's do it again. All right. I've been talking. I've been talking. I've been talking. I've been talking. All right. So thank you once again. I haven't put out the link yet, but if you guys will just put in, let me go ahead one more time. Present to the Dream Big. And for those who really do love, and you're like, hey, I don't want to say, hey, you're not ready now. And by May 1st, we are looking for our regular donors who will be part of the Inzozi. I need to come up with the word. We'll be part of Inzozi, the dream. And we are really looking at building us an annual fundraising base that can give us a budget to help us go through our next fiscal year. Oh God, I'm sounding so corporate. I'm sounding so corporate. But shout outs to this and let's make it happen. And then anybody else, I did put in the chat the ability for you guys to come in on screen if you wanted to. But you don't have to. We're gonna go ahead and get ready to go. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Okay. And we're out.